Yeah.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the People's Congregation of Shakers and Movers. I am Sandy, and of course, I'm here today with our Self Care Doula, Anna, for our midweek reset. I just wanted to thank all of our members, old and new, for your continued support so that we can provide this programming and hopefully expand our programs very soon. Tonight, I wanted to remind you we are not doing our midweek sound healing with Matt because Matt and Anna and I are all going to check out Blackbird Wellness, which is a newer wellness center down in Snug Harbor in Hingham. One of our members, Christina, is actually doing massage out of that same building. So multiple practitioners are in there renting space. They have all sorts of classes. Definitely check out their website or come stalk us and come do yoga with us tonight. It's going to be a yin class. Brooke tells me that we will only be holding about 5 or 6 poses, and then there'll be about a 15-minute sound bath, and it's a 1-hour class. So if you want to join us, meet us there. And that's at 7:30. Thanks, Matt.
Thank you.
Friday night, we are, for our integrated recovery practices group, going to be having a think tank about dollar bills. We're going to be talking about grants. We're going to be talking about fundraising. We're going to be talking about what programs and services we want to provide for the future. So if you have a healing modality that you would like to bring to the church, I'd love to start a meditation program weekly. I'd love to start a support group for those who are caregivers, who are tending to those who are sick and dying. Also those who maybe are experiencing grief or trauma. Again, we have the space. I want to see it used, but that requires resources. So if you have ideas on how to help us raise those funds, come on down and let's talk about it. On Saturday, we have DJ Wyatt coming back. I think it's his 4th time taking to the altar for Soul Saturday. We love Wyatt. He's so much fun. And I'm considering busting out some yoga mats at the beginning of Soul Saturday, since it tends to kind of pick up around 1:30. The first hour is a little slow. So I think I might just, maybe impromptu teach a little yoga class. We might not get up from the mat, but just do some stretching together and, bring the kids down and have some fun with us. The following Saturday, we have and I'm really looking forward to that. He's part of the East Coast Underground crew. Shout out to Lenore. Shout out to all of those DJs that have been doing this for 30 years, raising the vibration for us down in Central Square. That's how actually my husband and I met, was dancing. And that's where I find peace and closeness to the divine, is on the dance floor, which I consider to be a safe and sacred space to pray and to manifest. So, anything that we can do to raise the vibe, I'm appreciative of you DJs. So Anna, today, and this kind of ties on with Matt's healing yesterday, where we really did focus on the heart and how important it is to take those pauses and come from a place of love, as that's going to change the way that you put your energy out there, which then affects everybody else's energy. And as Matt pointed out, helps us stay in the present moment. And it tends to show that when you're ruminating in the past, or when you're worried about the future, your energy and vibration will be in a frequency of maybe fear or shame or guilt. But because we are aspiring to vibrate in a place of abundance, love, and peace, I think that goes along with pausing and listening to your heart.
Yes. And what I think is beautiful is that when we dance, we don't think, and thinking takes us out of our present moment. So that's why dancing is so healing, somatic movement, because we're really listening to our hearts. Like, if you think about it, do you ever, when you move your body and you're listening to music, are you thinking about how you're going to move your legs side to side? Or no,
you're feeling the frequency and the vibration.
Yes,
yeah,
that's your body wisdom. Your body's wisdom is that subtle body. It's that fourth layer from the koshas that taps into the wisdom that your body is giving, that you are receiving, like tapping into the heart. Your senses are listening to the music, but your mind is completely silent.
Yeah, I like to think of it as being in the flow, right? And getting lost, like, in a way, right? Like just being in the flow.
Yeah, I mean, and you can, I think a lot of people I like to go dancing, obviously to move my body and feel the frequency, because it quiets my mind. I forget about everything. I come into this energetic place with myself where I'm just moving and feeling also has a lot to do with your heart, right?
And feeling free.
And feeling free.
Freedom. Freedom. No, for real.
So it's really a tool. Dance or somatic movement is really a tool to help you silence the mind, basically. I mean, it's different if you are full, in a crowded space and you're looking and your mind is going. But when you close the sense of sight, you're listening. Your mind is completely in another place, let's say, but not speaking to you. It's your heart that's speaking. So that's what I wanted to tap into today, is the stillness that we can come to with our chit-chatty minds. Mm-hmm. Our chit-chatty minds speak to us and tells us all sorts of things. And it can get you in a good mood. It can get you in a bad mood. But really what the mind is chit-chatting your ego, really. Mm-hmm. And it's important to exercise and practice mind stillness. And I know that could be sometimes really hard for some people that have really high energy, or there could be fear associated with completely going into silence and stillness. The practice of silence really provides a gift of how to hear your body at that moment, how to hear yourself, your heart, in that present moment. And that's hard to do sometimes. But yoga brings us there for a moment, which is what I'm going to do.
Well, that sounds lovely. Thank you for this midweek reset. I am definitely feeling like there's a lot of heartbreak right now. Like my heart breaks when I see what's going on in California with the fires. And so I've been praying a lot, and I am wishing, my friends out in California, like safety right now, because it's a scary world we live in.
Yeah, my SoCal friends, thank you for letting me know you're safe. Yeah, it's scary out there with the winds and everything.
Yeah, but we will be the light, and we will find peace at this moment. And that's all we can do, right?
Yes, our peace actually helps raise the vibration that extends further.
Right. All right, I'm going to get off my mic now. Thank you, Anna.
Yeah, thank you. All right. So we're going to begin. Let's begin on our backs. I'm going to stay seated, and you can actually start with me either whether you're seated or on your back, just finding a comfortable position in any way that's comfortable for you so that you can begin to tune into the senses of your body. How are we going to do that? We're going to begin by tapping into our breath awareness. So I invite you to take a few deep breaths in and out to begin to settle the body. Again, you can begin either on your back or seated. And being that this is our first Wednesday back in the new year, I wanted to invite you to step into your heart space, softening your gaze or closing your eyes. And through the breath, beginning to feel that heart space. Feel the breath come in through the nose. Fill the heart space, fill the abdomen. As you exhale, let the abdomen fall, chest falls, let the body follow. Feeling that deep relaxation with that exhale. So I know we're coming in from maybe the busy morning, and your mind might still be in this forward motion with your to-do list. Where you feel like it's going around in a wheel that doesn't stop. And your chit-chat mind is the mind that is speaking to you, the talk that you hear. And it's okay to hear that. In this practice, what we're going to try to do today is come into stillness. And that's what really excites me about going to yin tonight, is that in those long poses of breath, not only is our body still, but it's a practice of how your mind, when it shifts into possible discomfort, begins to speak to you. And then how do we stop it from speaking so much so that we can hear our hearts and hear the rest of our body? Our body's wisdom is by focusing on our breath when the mind gets distracted. Sometimes it's taking that deep breath, a deeper breath, to bring you in to more of your heart space, more of your body. So if you would like, and it feels comfortable to you, begin to deepen the breath. Feel the diaphragm expand. And as you exhale, empty out all the lungs to the bottom of the lung to create more space for that next breath to come in. And then a thought might come in. Maybe you need to scratch an itch. Maybe you need to shift, and that's all okay. This is all a part of the process of coming into stillness. So that's why I constantly say practice, because it does take practice to tame the mind. It's fluctuations, it's chit chatter, and sometimes we don't like to hear what it has to say. And that counts for something, because the mind feeds the ego, and the ego needs to be fed. And that's where we can tame our ego, set aside our ego by quieting the mind. So while here, I'm going to invite you to take that internal gaze to your third eye, point between the brows. And if that gets tiresome for you, you can take that internal gaze behind the cheekbones. And you can shift back and forth if it's tiresome in one way. Again, this is all a part of the process. So shifting the gaze is absolutely fine. Shifting your body. Now that you're here at this third eye point, notice if your mind is speaking. If your mind begins to speak, come back to your breath and come back to that third eye point. What you may see in that third eye point with that internal gaze is a gray screen. So there's no rules that once you close your eyes and you see what's in front of you, seeing without seeing, that you have to see something. You don't have to see anything. But if you see colors or you see movement, a flutter of movement, or just subtleties, that's okay too. Awareness back into the heart space. And then visualizing our heart space glow green. Now it can swirl, it can just glow, it can just be a hue. And then let that color expand beyond your body. That heart space, your heart space, is filled with love constantly. You may have layers of other emotions that can cover up sometimes that love. But without any expectations, allow yourself to melt into your mat to ground, opening up your heart space and maybe even tucking the shoulders underneath the body to open up the heart space, the physical heart space. And then tap into your heart. The exercise here, through your breath and through awareness, is separating yourself from your mind and the things it wants to speak from your heart. If you had ever been told, don't listen to your heart, listen to your mind, which is what I was told constantly when I was growing up, let's reverse that. Quiet the mind and listen to your heart. So stay right where you are with your breath. In and out, letting it flow. And I'll give you an example of the difference between mind and heart. When you're thinking and making a choice based on your thoughts, and at the same time, this choice or decision is also being guided by the heart, where you feel you should be doing this or making this choice, but your mind is telling you the opposite. And because you prioritize the mind, because it's constantly speaking, you decide to go the direction of the mind, which not in every instance is it wrong, but in this example, making that choice may not have felt very good in your heart. And in your heart, another choice may have let your heart feel better. The choice was made to go with your mind, and that didn't feel good in the heart. And then you tell yourself, your mind says, your heart says, I should have gone with what I felt. It happens all the time. So let's reverse that. Going with what you're feeling. Here's the choice, and your mind's telling you, do this. Chit-chatting to you about how it's going to make you feel, or how you should be doing this, or you should be feeling this, and making that choice with your mind. And then sink into the heart space. Let your heart feel and guide you towards making the choice that you feel comfortable with. So the mind may be telling you, make this choice, and that's making you feel uncomfortable. So there's your wisdom body speaking, discomfort. And then you ease into the heart and move in the direction of the heart. And then all of a sudden, you feel at ease. You have quieted the mind and gone with your heart. Take a moment to visualize that heart space through your third eye. See it within you so that you can listen more to your heart space to quiet the mind. Feel the love that you feel when you look at someone you love that brings about that joy, that loving feeling. Your pet, a person. Breathe it in. Take notice of your mind. and notice its stillness. I'm going to lie down to join you, to continue to be in this space outside of our minds and into our hearts. On the next breath, begin to gently wiggle parts of your body, your toes and your fingers. And then on your next breath, take a full body stretch. Bring the arms over the head and lengthen. Your mind is no longer speaking. Reach for that right knee to chest. Squeeze in. Flex both feet. Slight tuck of the chin. 2 more breaths here, nice and deep. One more. And release, take that full body stretch. And your eyes can stay closed or they can flutter open whenever you feel like fluttering them open. Reach for that left knee to chest, flex both feet. Slight tuck of the chin, elbows in towards the body. 2 more breaths. You might feel a little discomfort in the pinch of the flexor. Last breath and release. Bring both knees to chest. Slight tuck of the chin to align the neck and the spine. Draw the shoulders down, squeeze in. And then release the legs, but take the hands to the tops of the knees and gently release and loosen the hips and begin with circles. Take the knees around and around. Both directions. And then take the legs up to the sky. And you can support your thighs, your legs, by taking the hands behind the thighs, if that feels better. Slight tuck of the chin and draw the shoulders down. You can release the arms. You can place the arms however it feels comfortable. You can even take a soft bend in the knees. And then begin to rotate the ankles both directions. Point and flex the feet. You can bring your arms by your side and then begin to cycle the legs. Both directions, forward and reverse. And then float the legs down, feet on the mat. Take a wide stance with the feet and gently windshield wiper. And you can take your hands wherever it feels comfortable to you, so you can windshield wiper side to side comfortably. Take the knees to the right side body. Arms can be anywhere that's comfortable for you. I'm going to take them over my head. So allow gravity to take the hips closer to the earth. Nice deep breath in. Long exhale out. Take another breath just like that. You can even sigh it out. And then move the legs back to center and then float them all the way over to the left side. So one side might feel tighter than the other. Ease into your movement and honor where you are today. So if something doesn't feel good, ease off. Or if you're in a place of, if you're in a place of pain, definitely ease off. If you come to a place of discomfort, you want to maybe explore that. So explore the discomfort of the tightness you feel. Let gravity draw your hips towards the earth. Nice deep breath. One more. And then legs come back to center, side movement. All right. Extend the legs, take a full body stretch. And then bend the knees and bring yourself into a bridge position. So feet are about hip distance apart, and you can walk the feet towards the buttocks. We're going to create some movement with the hips without lifting the hips, but it's really up to you. If you feel like lifting the hips and your body needs that right now, then give yourself that. On the inhale, we're going to take the hips forward, rotating them forward. On the exhale, we're going to shift those hips back, creating an arch in the low back. Inhale, rotate the hips forward, creating a flat back. Exhale, gently rotate them back. So we're essentially doing a little cat-cow here, more in the lower spine than the upper. Flow with your breath. One more set. Shifting forward and rotating the hips back, and then find your neutral spine. From here, take that right leg to the sky. Bring the arms over the head. Maybe you can take elbow to elbow here if that feels comfortable. You can draw that leg a little bit more towards you and then lower it down. Keep the arms right where they are, comfortable for you, and lift that left leg. Flex the foot and gently draw that leg towards you. And then lower it down. Knees into chest, rock side to side, and then knee circles. So you can separately move the knees in opposite directions, massaging your low back, or you can move them in the same direction. This depends on what feels good to you. All right, so from here, we're going to lower the feet back down, keeping the knees bent, and then we're going to roll over to one side and come back to seated, walking our hands back up. Then let's find ourselves in tabletop position. To get a little bit more deeply into the spine, we'll cat-cow. So stack those hips over the knees, shoulders over the wrists, and then take a peek between the knees to make sure that your feet aren't angled, hiding behind the knees. Let's begin. Let's tilt the tail up, take the gaze up to the sky. On the in-breath and on the exhale, gently take the chin towards the chest, rounding in, tucking the tail. Inhale. So now we're bringing upper body movement and lower body movement, covering all the bases of the spine while we're in tabletop. Inhale, extend, take the gaze up to the sky, tilt the tail, press the mat away. Exhale, chin moves towards the chest, gently tucking in, pressing the mat away. Continue inhaling as you extend, exhaling as you round in. Two more breaths here, so 2 more sets of movement. And then find your neutral spine, and then shift the gaze over your left shoulder, peeking at your left heel, shifting the right rib cage towards the right, and then shift the gaze over the right shoulder to the right heel and flow back and forth, creating side to side movement with the rib cage. All right, come back to center and circle the hips. Move the body in nice big circles, or you can do little circles. Do what feels good to you. And notice, is your mind speaking? It probably isn't. Go with your breath. Move with your heart space. All right, let's take a child's pose. Let's take the knees to the width of the mat. Let your toes touch. Shift the hips back and extend the arms forward. Melt the heart towards the mat. And then forehead can come down towards the mat. Now, if the forehead doesn't touch, you can support it with a block or you can rest it on your hands. You can stack your fists and rest it there. Do whatever's comfortable for you. And then hands are nice and wide and gripping, just like you would be in down dog. So what you're going to feel is like you're pressing the mat away as you push the hips back, really lengthening through the base of the spine, all the way up the spine, up the back. Let's walk the hands to the right side. Layer that left hand over the right if that's accessible, and then reach that left hip towards the left heel. Breathe nice and deep. Let your heart feel. Let's walk it back to center, all the way over to the left side. Layer that right hand over the left, and then press that right hip towards the right heel. And then notice what it feels like as you expand the abdomen in that breath. And then let's walk back to center. Lengthen the arms and shift the hips back. All right, from here, walk the hands towards the knees. Bring the knees closer together, about hip distance apart or so. And then we're going to sit on our heels, or if that's not comfortable, you can do this nice and lifted as well. I'm going to sit on my heels. On the in-breath, arms are going to extend out. Take a nice deep breath and arms reach up. And exhale, lower the arms, ground that left palm, right arm up and over. And then really press through that palm and lengthen through the fingertips, and then switch sides. Ground right palm, left arm up and over, lengthen through the fingertips. And then gently lower that arm back down. Inhale, arms come up. Gently reaching back. And on the exhale, lower the arms, bring the arms behind you, interlace the fingers, reach those shoulders back. So wrists reach back towards the back of the mat. Take the gaze up to the sky. And as you take the gaze up, see if you can bring that lower jaw forward to give the front of the neck a nice stretch. And snatching the jaw. Nice deep breath in. We're going to take a bow with the bind. Hinging at the hips, lower down slowly. Head doesn't have to touch the mat, but if you're there, you can do that and lift the arms up if that feels okay to you. Inhale, press through the shins and lift the body up. Take the gaze up, release the bind. Arms come back up and exhale, lower. Extend the fingertips towards the earth, drawing the shoulders down. And then we're going to take the right ear to the right shoulder. Nice deep breaths. And then take the nose towards the shoulder, lengthen through the fingertips, and see if you can walk those fingertips a little further out. Take the nose a little closer to the shoulder. Feel that tension melt away. And then we're going to rotate and take the gaze up to the sky. And it's going to feel a little awkward, but you're going to feel that stretch on that left side. And then slowly rotate it back, down, taking the gaze down. Take the gaze to the right side and then bring the gaze back to center. Nice deep breath in, and on the exhale, left ear reaches towards the left shoulder. Again, extending those fingertips, making sure that the shoulder is not reaching for the ear, but the ear reaching for the shoulder. And then begin to rotate, taking the nose towards the shoulder. Feel your heart space as you draw that breath in and as you exhale. All right, so now we're going to gently rotate the head back, taking the gaze up to the sky. Extend the fingertips. And then slowly rotate it back the way you rotated in. And then take the gaze to the left side and then rotate back. Nice deep breath in, extend the arms up. And exhale, lower. All right, so reach in front of you, come back to your tabletop. We're going to extend that right leg, toes point down. Let's rotate that hip by taking the toes to the right side. So you're going to rotate those toes outward, and then you're going to rotate them in. Rotate them out. Rotate them in. One more. And then rotate them back. Flex the foot, keep the toes down, and extend. Come into extended tabletop. Gazing at the top of your mat, lengthen in opposite directions. Option here to bend the knee and reach for that foot. And then our next option is to add a variety. So you could take that heel towards the right buttock, or you can kick into the hand. So you want to lift that thigh up and kick it. Kick the foot into the hand, creating a little back bend. Heart forward. Release and come back into that extended tabletop. Pull the navel in. Flex the foot. Come back to your table. Circle the hips to realign the body. How's that? Good? So move however it feels comfortable to you. So if you want to take a few cat-cows here, you can too. And then we'll do the other side. All right, so coming back to center, left leg extends, toes point down, and we're going to do that hip rotation. Point the toes out to the left side, and then rotate them back. Inhale, rotate them out, and then bring them back down. And now we're going to come into extended tabletop. Reach with that right arm, lengthen in opposite directions. Pull the navel in, lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. And then if you want to take that reach, you can flip the palm and reach for that foot. And you can stay in extended tabletop, or you can come back to table and do circles. So do what's comfortable for you. I'm kicking into the hand, or you can take that heel towards the buttock to give the quad a nice stretch. And flexing the foot also helps. And release when you're ready. Extend into extended tabletop. Bring everything back and shift side to side. So your body's working a little bit more. All right, let's curl the toes under and come into a downward facing dog, lifting the hips and shifting the heart towards the thighs. Not a requirement for the heels to touch the mat. And then begin to walk your dog.
Pull the navel in. Lift the heels high, bend the knees, switch the gaze between the hands, and then press back to your down dog, taking the gaze between the ankles without tucking the chin. Heels high again, bend the knees, take a hover, gaze between the hands, and then we're going to walk the feet to meet the hands at the top of the mat, forward fold. Let the head lower. Let the upper body feel heavy. And if it feels good, dangle the arms. You can take your hands into opposite elbows. Release the neck and shoulders. And if you notice, if I look up, I'm kinking my neck. And here's the crown of my head, which is pointing that way. So you want to take the crown of the head towards the earth as much as possible. Again, my feet are together, but you can also do this hip distance. All depends on you. You could take a little bounce or a sway and soft bend in the knees. Nod or shake the head no. Or release the arms. Loosen the shoulders. All right, from here we're going to gently roll up. So we're going to press into the feet and take a nice deep breath in as we rise. Arms are going to come all the way up. Reach up, let the palms touch, and palms come to heart. Take a moment here of stillness in the present moment. Hands at the heart in prayer position or Anjula Mudra. Eyes soft or closed. And we're in a present moment of stillness. And notice what your body is saying. Notice what your heart is saying. Now you're hearing your body's wisdom. And I like to either take my gaze downward or I close my eyes. But in this place today, I'm just softening the gaze, coming into mountain pose. So you want to tone the legs, pull the quads up, pull the navel in and up, shoulders draw back and down. All right, here we go. Take a nice deep breath in, tone the legs, reach up, reach back, palms together. On the exhale, palms together with a straight back, we're going to come into a slow forward fold. Inhale, place your palms on your shins, coming to a half lift. Pull the navel in, tilt the tail, draw those shoulders back away from the ears and lengthen through the crown. Nice deep breath in, exhale, forward fold, plant the palms, right foot steps back, take a low lunge. Inhale, palms together, reach up, press through that front big toe to steady your stance, reach back. And then gently lower the arms, bracket that front foot. Inhale, ground that right palm, right arm reaches up. And on the exhale, gently lowers down. Inhale, reach back up. Exhale, lower it down. Inhale, reach back up. This time, keep it up. And then if it feels good to you, you can flip the palm and reach behind you and open up the front of that right shoulder. So you can take the gaze straight ahead. If nothing's going on with the neck and shoulders, you could take the gaze up towards the sky. So rotate that heart towards the sky. And then release the arm. Float it back down, bracket that front foot. All right, so now we're going to take it into a balance. Curl the back toes, lift that back knee. Ground that right palm. We're going to open up again to that left side. So you do it both ways. And then flip the palm if you want to take the arm behind you and take that bind. Won't stay here too long. Release and bring that arm back down. Okay, so we're gonna tuck the chin first and then extend that leg and take the forehead towards the knee. Forehead doesn't have to touch the knee, but you can bend into the knee to touch the forehead. That's how I was taught, because my forehead could not touch the knee. And what you end up doing is making that contact, which is important, and slowly, with time, with years of practice, you can keep the forehead glued to the knee. Lift the gaze, shift forward, stack that left knee over the ankle, and then from here we're going to step it forward and forward fold. Inhale, gently roll all the way up, reach up, nice deep breath in, palms touch, palms come to heart. Inhale, reach up, reach back, press the hips forward, tone the legs. Exhale, forward fold, hands together all the way down if you'd like, or you can swan dive. Inhale, hands on the shins for that half lift. Tilt the tail, pull the navel in, draw those shoulders back, lengthen through the crown. Another deep breath in, exhale, plant the palms. Left foot's gonna step back this time. Drop that left knee. Inhale, arms come up, maybe palms together or separate. And then exhale, bracket that front foot. Inhale, right arm up, ground that left palm, and exhale, lower. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, lower. One more. Inhale, reach, stay up here. Flip the palm if you'd like, or you could just keep it extended up towards the sky and reach behind you. You can take the gaze straight ahead or towards the sky. Press to that front big toe, back shin presses in, and then release the arm, reach up, and lower it back down. So now we're going to go into that balance, lift that back knee, ground that left palm, reach up, rotate that rib cage, that heart space towards the sky. If you want to take the bind, flip the palm and take the bind. Press to that front big toe, navel pulled in, strength through that back leg, and then release. Arm comes back up, float it back down, tuck the chin, nice deep breath in, extend that front knee, forehead towards the knee. Again, if you're not making contact, that's quite all right. You could bend into the knee to try and make contact, and then with time you can press it back into the extension. Inhale, lift the gaze. Step it forward, forward fold. Inhale, hands on the shins for our half lift. Exhale, plant the palms. Right foot and left foot are going to step back into plank or modified plank. Tuck the elbows, come all the way down. Hands underneath the shoulders, tuck the elbows. Now remember the compression in the low spine. If there's low back pain, take the feet wide so that you don't compress as much as you would with the feet together. I'm going to keep my feet together. Inhale, press all 10 toes in, tuck the elbows, shoulders back, lift the heart space. Slide the heart forward. Now you don't have to go very high at all. Nice deep breath in and exhale, lower. Arms by your side. Take the left cheek to mat just to take a breath. If your heart's beating fast, good. It should be. All right, so let's bring the chin back to center. We're going to go full locust. On the in-breath, everything's going to lift on the mat. Ready, set, inhale. Lift. Arms lift, legs lift, everything lifts. One more breath, maybe rising a little higher, and then lower everything. Take that right cheek to mat. And a deep breath. So rapid breath, rapid heart rate. All good. And as it should be. Bring the chin back to center. We're going to do that one more time. Going into full locust. Inhale, lift everything up. Arms, legs, chest, everything. And then lower. Left cheek to mat. Nice deep breaths. Option here, you could bend the knees, windshield wiper, side to side. And you can bring the chin back to center. Or if you want, you can reach for the feet, if that's accessible, and gently pull those heels towards your buttocks. Option here, Sandy, if you want to go into bow. Okay, so you would take your chin to the mat and lift and kick the legs into the feet and lift. I've never been really good at bow, but there you go. There's my bow. Release. Right cheek to mat. All right, bring the hands underneath the shoulders, curl the toes under, gently lift back up. And we're going to take another wide-legged child's pose. Take the knees to the width of the mat. Let the toes touch, shift the hips back, reach forward. All right, let's weave the right arm. We're going to thread the needle in child's pose position. Right arm under left. Rest the head on its right side. So what I always tell my students, if you do one side, just even out and do the other. Doesn't matter. And then if you want, you can rotate that left arm and bring it behind you if you'd like. Shift the hips back. And remember, micro movements matter. So even just shifting the hips a little bit can change that shoulder stretch. Release when you're ready. And switch. So you're going to take that right arm, extend it, gently press back, and then weave that left arm under the right. Rest the head on its left side. And you can stay right here. Shift the hips back. Or you can reach behind you. Release when you're ready. Extend the arm forward. Unweave that left arm and take a bow. Walk the hands back towards your knees. Knees come closer together so you can shift the hips to one side and swing the legs around. Come to the center of your mat. All right, so we're going to do boat pose, but I want to show you a variation of boat pose. So if there's any challenge in lifting the legs, this is a variation of boat pose right here. So you don't have to lift the legs at all, or you can bend and just lift. All right, so coming into boat pose, I'm going to start with one leg. Heart forward, leaning back, lift the other. And breathe. If you want to extend, you can extend the legs, draw those shoulders back, heart forward. Use your breath, find your balance, and then lower when you're ready. And then descend down, pull the navel in, use your core, come all the way down, slowly, slowly, ground the toes, head comes down last. Knees into chest. And then full body stretch. Arms by your side. Windshield wiper. Arms into a T, and gently take the knees to the right side. Take your twist, gazing over to the left. Nice deep breaths. And then switch sides. Come back to center slowly. Take the knees to the left side and take the gaze to the right side. Come back to center. And you can windshield wiper the legs or do any movement that feels good to your body. And we come to our Shavasana. Arms by your side or anywhere that's comfortable. You can take supine butterfly. You can take the soles of the feet together and take your Shavasana that way, or you can take legs up to the sky, or even supported, taking a block or a pillow or a bolster underneath your sacrum and lifting the legs up. Inviting you to soften your gaze or close your eyes completely so you can let the eyes sink into their sockets. So if you want to take a happy baby, you can. Any other movements? Our goal is to find our stillness again through our breath. So if the breath is rapid, slow it down, breathing in and out the nose. Let the toes fall open, hips feel heavy, maybe tucking the shoulders underneath the body to widen the collarbone and open the heart space up a little bit more. Coming back to your breath. And coming back to your heart center. Maybe taking the gaze to the third eye. And noticing what you see now. Maybe it's complete clarity. When you're ready, slowly, gently wiggle your toes and your fingers. Give yourself a little bit of movement and then bend the knees and roll over to press yourself back up to sit. Meeting me with our hands at the heart center. To seal class together today, please join me in bringing our prayer hands to our third eye. As a reminder, we can calm our speaking mind and come into our third eye through stillness. To our lips to speak kind words, especially to ourselves when our mind is chit-chatty, and to others. And bringing our prayer hands back to our hearts is a reminder to remember to live life through joy, stillness, lots of love and high vibration, courage, compassion, and lots of grace. From my heart to yours. Namaste.
Namaste.